to have an incredible man who's our mentor, and thank God for the last, for a while, he's being with us every Wednesday, and I know how much he inspired, and thank God he's being in Boris in my life for the past 10 years. We are very blessed. And I know that anything he wants to say, anything worth to record it. That's what I do for the last 10 years, and that's what I want once again for us to learn anything, guys, any subject is phenomenal. Byron Nelson. As you know, there was no secret here. You know that he's a founder of Matrix Group. You know he's working on his 100% bestseller book. You know that he's, yes, a trilogy right away, like he's not even dealing with one. Guys, that's who he is, big in every aspect. Tall, big, so God have big plans for him.
Awesome, thank you. I am here because I love Boris and Renata, and the leadership that's been placed here before us. We have the most extraordinary team. I call this like Matrix 3.0 of what Renata and Boris have been able to do as far as the generational play out. And each generation has gotten better, and this is the best version. So I don't want to just start training and talking at you. So any topics that come to your mind, anything that you want to know.
All right, I'm just bringing them as they come out, okay?
That was part of the training. So anything that comes to your mind as far as something that you have a question about in regards to your business, in regards to our business, in regards to just yourself. So there's 3 dimensions there. You guys get what I just said there? Your business, meaning how your business will propel itself. Our business, meaning anything about it, you know, our industry, our business, our company, or just for yourself to be elevated, will be able to help me actually initiate the conversation and take it to another level. So anything that you would like. So what do you guys have in mind? What do you have? What can I help you with? What question comes to your mind to be able to help you blow your business up? Or what perspective? Or you can ask me something personal, whatever that is.
I got a question. I think it will resonate with most of the people. We've seen in the past 10 years, and I'm sure you've seen it in the past 27 years, that people are all excited. They're all blah, blah, blah. We're all like what we see. We're all like what we hear from every trainer. But then there is, you know, we all go home, and there is a blockage to do the next step. And to do the next step is go to work. So what would you recommend to go over that hurdle? Because excitement is there. There's no doubt.
Is everybody excited? Everybody excited?
Excited.
But the excitement has to be equal to the results.
100%.
The results have to be equal to the excitement, right? And that's where the gap is. It was the gap with us in the beginning. And from what I see in the past 10 years, it's just a gap.
Right.
Sometimes you get a person in IPO who really doesn't analyze or think, but just doing it, just doesn't. And the results from that comes out to be way better than from the person who is analyzing it, you know, and thinking too much or too long about how to build, you know, what to build and blah. So, and I like to analyze myself, right? And what I realized that there is no analyzing needed in AC. After you go through 2 days of, you know, master training, or hear the same presentation over and over again for the past forever, 5, 6, 7 years, as long as you're in the business, there's not much to analyze, right? So how do people go from being analyzers to actually getting results?
Going from scientist to activation?
Absolutely.
That's a great question. And I have a great answer. It's something that I just shared this in a call recently. First, you have to establish why you're here. So, we could go around the room, everybody has a different why, but really, why are you here? If that makes sense. You guys with me on that so far? Because everybody's time is valuable. Everybody is making sacrifices. People have come in the face of a storm. People have come in the face of having children. People have come in the face of leaving their work and their job. People have come in the face of illness, people that they're responsible for. So you've come here against all odds, where for no matter who you are, it's not comfortable, if that makes sense. You guys with me on that? So I mean,
Yes.
this beautiful woman flew 32 hours. I believe I got that hour right, because Renata has repeated enough that I am clear that she flew 32 hours. And that comes down to, what that screams at me is a couple of things. Number one, the sacrifice she's willing to make. Number two, how so many people are so close and how far she had to come and what she had to overcome to get here. On top of that, the language barrier, which is worse than most based on the fact that she's not even from here, which explains why over 65% of the multimillionaires in this country are from another country. They are willing to do whatever it takes without excuse. And I think we were walking and we were in the car, and when we were in the car I shared it. I said that either you have to find a reason to win or an excuse to lose. So you have to figure that out. You know, it's a choice. So once that choice has been made, I'm giving you a flow chart. Is this making sense? You guys with me on that so far to answer what Boris was talking about? The flow chart is first, and when I sit down with a person one-on-one, the first thing that I ask them in my coaching is, what do you want? Why are you doing this? I mean, we talk about your why, what do you want, why are you doing this, all that. And once it's like, if I go to Janice and I said, okay, Janice, what is it that, if I was a genie in a bottle and it included this opportunity and the reason why you're in this opportunity, what would be your wish? Your wish is my command. What is your wish? You get anything that you want out of this business. You've signed up, you registered, money's paid, you now have the opportunity of a lifetime sitting in a box, and once you shake it hard enough, out of it's going to come exactly what you want. So if you can pick one thing that you want, what would that be? And I want everybody here to be Janice in this conversation. Is everybody with me on that spot? I'm just using you as an example. What would you want to fall out of that box is what I would ask you. Because you thought about your why, you talked about it, you shared on it. So what's your why? What do you want? What's your dream? To fall out of this box. Without it being, well, I have a grocery list of stuff. I want a new house, a new car, I want to take care of my mom. No, what is it that you want more than anything else to fall out of that box? Step one, by the way, for those that are paying attention and taking notes.
Well, one of it is a house by the ocean.
Is that the only thing, is that the number one thing that you want?
I mean, I have a grocery list.
Okay. No, but you have to have one thing. I'm a genie. Most times you get 3 wishes. I'm only giving you one. I'm a black genie. I'm a little cheap.
Actually, financial freedom sometime back in my life.
So financial freedom. Because if you had the house and you had to work all day and you never got a chance to enjoy the house.
Right.
And I'll give you guys a prime example of how real that is. That you guys can go, most of you guys are from New York, and many of you guys have been to a harbor. We're sitting in Florida. Do you know that if you go out here in Florida, right here in Miami, you should go right here in Fort Lauderdale, and you look where the boats are, 98% of those boats never go out the water because they're slaving trying to figure out how to get on the boat. If you go to New York, same thing. You go to LA, same thing. You don't see all the boats are at the dock. You know why? Because they can't afford to go out on the boat because they're too busy killing themselves to pay for the boat.
The only place that boats are not at the dock and actually being used, that I've seen in person, is in Saint Tropez, France.
Wow.
They don't care.
Oh,
They
live on the boat.
There's a small, very small, under 0.5% of people who enjoy their boat. In fact, I got a guy, me and my partner were talking, and it's like, he's a billionaire, and you know what he says boat stands for? Bust out another 1,000. Every time you look at it, you gotta come up with $1,000. That's what both stands for.
Fuel pays the.
Whether it's the gas, whether it's shackling, whether it's keeping it, whether it's at dock, whether you're stocking it, it's just every time you look at it and think about it, it's going to cost you $1,000. If you don't have $1,000 on a daily, weekly basis to bust it out, it's going to sit there and you're going to sit at your job or at your company or your wherever you make your money because it's a luxury. But that's a whole nother conversation. I digress. The key to what you said was financial freedom. Because financial freedom allows you to have the house, allows you to have everything, peace, enjoy everything. It's the freedom that money's going to give you. So now that we establish where everybody here has your why. Now everybody here ordered a plate of food. Everybody here has an outfit on that you chose. You bought those clothes, unless it was a gift and you just fell in love with that piece. You didn't wear anything that does not make you feel comfortable and you like. 90% of your outfit you probably bought. You may have one or two gifts on, whether it's a chain or a gift, whatever. Before you bought that, you have to figure out why you were buying it. And then second, because why you bought it make you felt really good, because people buy emotionally. So the why is there. Whether you have work clothes, it made you feel cool, whatever it is. Everybody with me on that so far? So your why was already in existence. So what's step two? Step two, before you bought that outfit, glasses, sunglasses, whatever it is you have on, you had to establish the price. And that is what people don't do, of what Boris is talking about, to activate this opportunity. You haven't established the price that you're willing to pay for that emotion of feeling financially free. If that makes sense, is there a So we look at it's like I want a Bentley, I want a mansion on a yacht, I want to be Elmer J. Fudd. I'm using this obviously as a metaphor and as an example. So right with me on this one. But the price is what allows you to activate. Until you establish that you're willing to pay the price, then it's just procrastination, it's laziness, it's a dream, it's a wish, it's a thought, it's just until it becomes a must that you have to do something. Unfortunately, it's the way people are programmed. For me, I listened to a guy's testimony this week. He lost everything, and when I say lost everything, he lost everything. But not in comparison to the normal person, because the normal person won't understand this conversation. I mean, won't be able to relate to the conversation, but I'm giving you a real conversation. He was already living in, I think his house note, his mortgage, it's like $20,000, something crazy. $20,000 or $30,000. His living expenses to just pay all his bills was $50,000.
50?
50, which is what my living is. $50,000 to live, right? To pay everything. Obviously, he was overextended, but he had a stream of income that he thought would be there that dried up quickly, and he only had, I want to say, like 2 or 3 months that if he kept going, that he knew he would lose everything. So because he was in that position, he wasn't given much options. He knew that a job would never pay him $50,000 a month. He has a family, kids, wife, dog, whatever, and he had to make some hard decisions really fast to make it. And so we make the best decisions when we don't have time. When your life is on the line, kidney transplant, cancer, whatever you want to deal with, you will do whatever you have to do without a whole lot of thought. Does that make sense? You guys following me on so far?
Absolutely.
So until you can position yourself to understand how to make powerful, conscious, substantiated decisions to change a circumstance that must change, when you believe that it is not a must and it's a luxury or a choice, is what stops people from taking action when they get home. There's other things, there's layers to this. There's fear, there's lack of understanding, and people don't like to change, and when I haven't done this before, so everything new is scary, because when you get into a brand new relationship, it's scary. When you start a new job, it's scary. Anything you do is going to be scary. But when you have to do something, you will go get a first, a second, and a third job to take care of your family. You will do whatever you have to pay the hospital bills. You do whatever you got to do. So until you actually put yourself into a powerful position, a powerful decision, something has to change, is when you will get over the fear, and that gap that Morris is talking about will collapse, and you will just activate and do what you got to do.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
By all means.
And we all know this person. He's a SVP from Canada, right? Some of you know him, Mark Olshanitsky. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Okay. So we know him for a long time. Mark Olshanitsky is very successful in ACM. By the way, he started ACM because his back was against the wall. Period. End of story. He lost everything, and his wife dragged him from where he was, doing a real estate deal. He whatever he did, and she brought him to the meeting, and that's how he started. But the point what I'm trying to make is this: Mark Olshanitsky was an RVP. And there is nothing in the world, whatever he was doing, would have helped him. He said, I couldn't get to SVP. Just could. He had a house, beautiful house in Toronto. Everything was fine. And he says, that comfortable lifestyle prevented me to go to SVP until he did something. And this is what he did. He took his toothbrush, a couple underwear, and he went down from his comfortable bedroom, living room, backyard, everything. He moved down to his unfinished basement in the house with nothing. Nothing. With a toothbrush and a couple underwear. He said, I lived there for 6 months. I didn't go to my bedroom, I didn't go to my kitchen. And guess what happened? He hit SVP. From the basement of his own house. But he was so sure that he needed to be against the wall again to move up. Yeah. True story. Yeah. You can ask him when you see him. True story. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, and that story is so familiar because so many people have done it, that have achieved success. You may see somebody that's homeless outside and be like, I can never do that, but you can't say you would never do that until you've gone through what that person has gone through. Everybody is broke on a certain level and rich on a certain level. But let's deal with the broke side of it. The broke side of it is, if you have no time, you're broke. Physically, you can be broke. Mentally, you can be broke. Emotionally, you can be broke. And unfortunately, until you get so hurt, sometimes we don't do anything, just like until you have to do something.
It's true.
The way to be able to do that is what Boris is talking about, which is to trick yourself into success. What I did is I took every TV and every radio and everything out of my house, and I swore I would never look at anything, listen to anything until I finished SVP. I had a penthouse. I actually downsized from a luxury way of living, and literally forced myself to stay in a car until I finished SVP. I did that as RVP. When I went RVP, I took everything that I had that was luxurious. I did things that, most people would never do. I missed certain events that most people would never miss. Deaths, births, marriages. Your sister gets married, you can't justify you missing your sister's wedding. Now, I didn't miss it, but I'm just saying, are you guys following me on as far as this? I did miss some amazing, extremely painful events that, would I do it again? I have much wiser now to pick and choose the events I would do. Then I just had a deaf ear. So you got to figure out, again, what Boris is saying is, what are you willing to give up to get what you want? If life doesn't put or impact you or impose upon you a circumstance where you need a kidney transplant, or you're going to lose your child, then you need to create and trick your mind into you losing everything in order to get where you need to go, in order to activate. Because once you've decided that I can no longer stand where I am, everything will change. Everything will change. You don't need the protocol of what to do, how to get customers, how to share the business when your life is on the line. You know, and there's just levels to the game. By all means.
One more thing I will add. And again, it's a true story, and he will concur. When we started, without any experience in the business, and the first conversation I had with Mr. Nelson is this: I said, we don't know anything about this. Renata got involved, and so he says, okay, fine. He says, I will come and teach you, do the presentations and teach you. So when somebody says that, and I remember my personal feeling, I said, great. Now mentally, that backed me up to where now I have somebody who's going to do something for me. You follow my chain of thought? So if there is somebody who's going to do something for you, that means you don't have to do it right now, because that person is going to do it for you, right? So that, again, moves you a couple steps back, where if he would have said at that time in the beginning, I will show you, and then you will do it yourself, right? You see the difference between I'll do it for you, I'll come fly from California to New York, do it for you, instead of telling me I will show you and then you do it yourself. So what happened after, I think 2.5, 3 months, he was coming in, in the beginning, during that time, and I learned. But one of those days when he was supposed to come, he calls in on Tuesday and says, I'm not coming on Wednesday, because our meetings at home were Wednesday. Now, during those 2 months, obviously, if you hear the same thing over and over again, your brain intends to remember at least something, right?
Right.
At least with hope. So that Wednesday he never showed up, but we had a meeting scheduled, right? So we know that we could not tell people don't come because Byron Nelson got stuck in New York, whatever it was. I think it was his health issue. He says, I'm not coming.
He said, I have a back pain.
Back. So people came, showed up. Now, my back was against the wall, because who else gonna do the presentation, right? So I came out, I did a presentation, and I love the guy, but he will concur to that also. Mm-hmm. At that first presentation that I did myself, 10 people signed up.
Yes, indeed. Wow.
With no experience, I screwed up every position in ACN. I misnamed them completely. I misnamed a lot of things in the presentation. But the passion that was related to people who were sitting in our house, they said, oh, yeah. 10 people signed up. I called him up and said, listen, 10 people signed up, stay in California. Not telling him that, he doesn't know what he's doing, he will learn from him. But it was that kind of a feeling that my back was against the wall, and whatever was said at that presentation to the brand new, you have to understand something, guys. Brand new person who's looking at this opportunity for the first time have no idea whatever Byron says, whatever Boris says, or whatever Manny says. You understand? They don't know that yet.
Yes.
So it's your personal feeling, your personal relation, how you express ACM information to them. That's what matters. Right or wrong?
Right.
From that point on, he was coming in, but way less than we wanted him.
Right.
But at the same time, the team was growing. And from that first presentation of mine, obviously I learned. I corrected my mistakes, everything else, and that's when I became better. And I became the only presenter in Matrix, New York, until somebody later, very later, popped up. So I'm not telling you that so you will feel sorry that you're not doing certain things, but I'm telling you that it could help you to propel you to the next level. Just because Renata is in New York for the past 10 years, every Zoom whatever the Zoom started, or every presentation, it doesn't mean you have to rely on her 100%. She is here and will be here for the next 100 years to support your business, not to run your business, not to do your business for yourself, for you, but to support your business. There's a difference, do and support, right? That's the difference. And if Byron would have said that Wednesday that he's coming, I don't know if I would be able to do the presentation. Because that Wednesday he would have done it anyway. He's here, why not?
And if I would have a drink, I have water, but the toast would be to you, Mr. Nelson.
I have water too. Go ahead.
You are so important to us, and I understand. I just realized that you miss a few big events while running for ACM SVP, and now I feel even more appreciated because you made it 8 years ago for my 50th birthday. And that was such a big deal. Everybody was fascinated because besides everything else, Byron is a good dancer. He did not tell you that. Okay, he did not tell you. He's not going to be talking about it today. But he's a phenomenal dancer. And every Russian lady said, he's not Russian. I said, no, he's not. He's smooth. He learned so much. So thank you so much for your
So welcome.
Is it unconditional loyalty if it exists, such a word? We can bring it to the vocabulary.
100%.
You're absolutely awesome. And even the fact that you're now sitting with us and pouring into us. What I know, I was with you at this arena. So many people want to steal you. And I sent my bodyguard, Manny, and another Manny. And I said, Manny, don't leave his side. If you leave him, somebody steal him. So they were protecting him with an expensive piece of jewelry next to him. That is the ring because people cannot do anything. At the moment they see him, it's a legend. They're like, it seems like if you let Les Brown walking around here, somebody would grab him. So I said, please be with him till we. So the fact that you're with us, we value it. I just want you to know we don't take.
I truly know.
We do not take for granted. And right now, we have everything on YouTube. So you can tell my tip every time I open mouth. Is it YouTube, Michael? Do you know God makes no mistake? We have Michael. He was with us like 5 years ago in the business. He walk around, everybody's looking for something. And then he realized that we're the best. And he came back. And what do you think? Sometimes you're so close, you do not even understand what you have.
Exactly.
Sometimes you need to be a little distant. So he's back and he asked, would it be okay? Guys, he brought everything from New York. Do you think it's easy to travel with us? Because he traveled with his wife and little child. And all these things to make sure when Mr. Nelson speaks, that will be recorded.
Wow.
Guys, that's Michael. This is so you. When you change your phone, they want to make sure they transfer everything back. Every single person, they said, how many recordings do you have? That's what they do. I said, I have a mentor that I've been recording for the past 10 years. They said, do they say the same? He said the same thing? I said, no. People know. I said, I need everything here. So I basically have.
I need to go back and remember and listen to some of that.
And I have to tell you, the interesting thing, you're even better. And the main reason you're even better because you work on yourself every day. And you were phenomenal at that.